already a little skeptical. My cat took the knife. So far, I'm impressed. I think this pattern may have been stolen. Hey everyone, it's Isa Morgan from Queer Crochet, and the other day I was walking around Five Below when I saw this. They have horror movie character crochet kits, so of course we have to try it out. It says it comes with 7 colors of yarn, 2 felted stickers, a crochet hook, a plastic needle, stuffing, and instructions. So I'm going to be rating the quality of the contents, the ease of the instructions, and what level of experience this kit is designed for. My partners and one of our favorite horror movies is Halloween, so I cannot wait to have this little guy be part of our home decor. First thing I'm noticing is it does not say for beginners anywhere on here. So I'm not expecting it to be super easy or anything. However, it does look fairly simple, but we'll see. I have not tried a crochet kit from Five Below. Okay, we have the blue. First thing I'm feeling with this yarn, it's not particularly nice, but for $5, I wouldn't expect it to be. It's just a basic acrylic yarn. We have all of our smaller bits of yarn, our white, gray, black, red. We have the notions in here. This comes with just a little metal 3.5 hook, which I'm not mad at. The Woobles kit came with one that had a grip on it, which seems nice, but I have been so frustrated with it since I've started using other hooks and now have preferences. The handle keeps sliding off, and so this the metal part keeps coming out, and it gives me just less control over the hook. So I'm not mad at just a simple metal hook. Better than a plastic hook, which is what I expected for a $5 kit. We have all the stuffing, more white and brown, and we have our instructions. Okay, so this is like an about the kit. It has all of the abbreviations for all the stitches, and then all the different stitches and techniques written out. So that's kind of nice. That makes me think that they do intend for this to be for beginners. It defines like how do you do a single crochet? What does it mean to work into a stitch? This is actually pretty comprehensive. How to change yarn colors, what's the wrong side versus the right side, how to close off the remaining hole, what's the adjustable ring. This is pretty good. This would be a great reference for someone who's new to crochet. I actually have been writing a blog post that's very similar to this. So far, I'm impressed. And then this one is the actual pattern, and it's just 1 page. There's nothing on the back, so seems pretty simple, but we'll see. Looks like the head, the knife, the arms, the neck, the legs, and the body and the hair are all separate. I'm gonna put on my headphones, I'm gonna put on an audiobook, and I'm gonna get started on this little Michael Myers murderer. I haven't even started the pattern yet, and I'm already noticing something weird. On the abbreviations used for stitches, it has MR, magic ring, or make chain 2, single crochet into the first chain. Sure. On the pattern, it says 16 group crochet into MC, which I assume stands for magic circle. And I say assume because MC is not on the list of abbreviations. So I went to see if magic circle is down here in crochet stitches and techniques, and it's not, but adjustable ring is. It's not descriptive enough for someone who's never done a magic ring to actually be able to follow this and do it. It just says the adjustable ring is a nice technique to start working in the round. Make a circle of yarn and insert your hook. If you don't know what a magic ring is, you're not gonna figure it out from that. Haven't even started yet, and I'm already a little skeptical about this, that this is not made by a crocheter. I'm not saying AI is involved, but this part, and the actual pattern do not seem like they are connected. They seem like 3 separate things that were pulled together for this kit. Rant over. I'm gonna get started on this project. Next in the pattern, it says to do the knife, which is fine, but a little weird that it wants me to do the accessories before I've finished the person. It goes head, knife, arms, neck, legs, body, hair. I guess I'll just do it in the order. It's not the order I would have put it in, but we'll follow what it says. This is the little knife. That's a little floppy, not very structurally sound, but I think I have to use this knife as my rating scale for all the different categories I'm gonna rate this on, out of how many slasher knives. I think I'm gonna make all the other parts off camera, and then I'll come back for assembly unless something weird comes up. All right, so I'll see you when it's time to assemble. I had a round and a half left in black of the second leg when I ran out of black yarn. So I've been fine on yarn for all the other colors, but this one I ran out on. So I guess I'm just gonna transition to blue now and just do an extra round in the blue, but that's a bummer. I finished the body. I did have to omit 1 row of the navy because I didn't quite have enough to finish it because I had to compensate for the missing black, but that's fine. I just took out the last non-decrease row. And then next I'm supposed to do the hair, but I think I want to assemble the body first. I have this little like neck piece collar thing, and I'm not sure how it's supposed to go on. Looking at the picture, it's kind of hard to see because it's pretty dark, but I think it's supposed to be like a collar, which I don't know why we didn't just make it directly off of here then, but whatever. Working with this dark colored yarn at 9:30 p.m. is quite the endeavor. Right now, his whole body just looks like a pair of pants. So impressed at how soft this stuffing is. Probably the softest stuffing I've ever used. This pattern is like the inverse of my packer pattern. If you started it from the back end instead of the tip, it does kind of look like it could be, right? I got my hook stuck. Okay, we are almost done with our Michael Myers. We have his body all put together, and we just need to put on his hair. Okay, we're about finished with our Michael Myers here. We just need to put on his hair, and my cat took the knife. Can I have that, Melon? Melon! No! Let me see what you have. No! Okay, we just need to put on his hair and sew on his little knife onto his hand. Now, this is the hair that I have made based on the instructions, which to me does not look like the hair on the box. Now, I don't doubt that whoever made the model for the box made the hair and sewed it on this way. I do doubt my ability to sew the hair on so that it matches this, but I'm going to do my best. I have a lot of the brown yarn left. Ran out of the black, ran out of the blue, but I have a lot of brown. I think I would have rather crocheted the hair directly onto the head rather than crocheting it as a separate piece and then sewing it on. My partner and I are going to a horror convention next weekend, and I'm thinking I might put this little guy onto a keychain onto my bag so he's like the little horror equivalent of a Labubu. I think that would really pop off, honestly. His hair looks so silly. While I'm sewing on this hair, let's talk about who I think the target audience is for this kit. It looks like it's meant to be for beginners, like they're trying to pose it as it's for beginners. But I think a beginner would have a hard time with this kit. I think there's a few things that I had to like infer based on what I know about crochet, like the description of a magic ring. Like if I didn't know how to do that, I would have to go look it up. Similarly, in the hair, there's a few implied slip stitches that it does not say that you need to slip stitch. And so I think that would be confusing to a beginner. So I think the target audience really is people like me, people who know how to crochet but maybe don't do a whole lot of amigurumi, but like horror and see it and go, oh, you know what? I do want a Michael Myers little plushie. You're right. Because it's not something I would have sought out on my own. I wouldn't have just gone and found a Michael Myers pattern to make, but I saw it at the store and I said, yeah, for $5. I wouldn't recommend it for, you know, your horror loving friend who has never crocheted before, unless you are ready to teach them how to crochet, how to do a magic ring, and kind of help them through it. But if there's someone that loves horror and wants to learn how to crochet, I don't think this is a bad kit to learn on, as long as you have some additional resources. Our little Michael Myers is all finished. Here he is in all his glory. His hair's a little wonky. That's my fault. I'm not great at sewing pieces together. His head's not on straight. His knife could use some blocking. But here he is. He's all done. I want to rate this kit out of sleighs. So we'll put the sleigh tracker up here. So as far as materials go, for all of these ratings, we're keeping in mind, this was $5, okay? Okay. Materials, 4 out of 5 sleigh. Because the yarn, pretty good for $5. It's not the worst yarn I've ever gotten in a kit or like from a value yarn. The hook, I really like this hook. It's pretty simple. It's just a nice little metal hook. It definitely could be worse for $5. The polyfill, remarkably soft. The best polyfill I've ever used. And I have a whole bunch left, so I could have filled him like way more full. I was just worried about running out. The quantity of the yarn is what knocks it down a point, because I did run out of the black and I did run out of the blue yarn. All of the others were fine and I had extra of, but the black and the blue I did run out of, and those are kind of the most important parts. And I feel like I have pretty average tension. It's not that I just like was loose or messing up or something to run out of that yarn. So gets knocked down a point for that. As far as instructions go, I think these instructions get 3 sleighs. The 2 different papers, the one like explaining the crochet stitches and the crochet abbreviations, I think is helpful and good, but definitely distinct and separate from the actual instructions. The terminology they used on that cheat sheet, not the same that they used in the pattern. So like the cheat sheet, but definitely not written for this pattern specifically. And then the pattern, I followed it. I got a little guy out of it. It looks pretty close to the image on the box. I think the differences are sewing errors on my part. I don't think it's, you know, the instructions they gave me produced what they told me it would produce. So I appreciate that. I do think there were some places that it needed a little bit more explanation. It was missing some information, like the slip stitches on the hair. I think it was weird the order that they put things in. Like they did the head and then the knife. And I would have rather done the head and the body, because I would have shortened up the tail of the knife or used a different color for the base of the knife before, if I was going to run out of the black, rather than having the feet be uneven. Although you can't really tell because the blue and the black look so similar. You can't tell that this one's shorter, so maybe it's not a bad thing. But I don't know. I think the pattern is fine. I need to give this caveat. I was looking up other Michael Myers crochet patterns to see what's out there, if there are ones that I would recommend instead of this kit from a big box store, you know? And I think this pattern may have been, I don't want to say stolen from, but inspired by this pattern that I found on Etsy. And I'll say this pattern is $3.50. It looks like it is way more detailed, has tons of pictures on assembly, and looks like it's an independent designer rather than, you know, a big chain store. So if you really want to make a Michael Myers crochet pattern, you know, you're probably not a beginner, because I don't think this is great for beginners anyway, and you probably have hooks. So if you have the yarn that you need for it, then just go buy the pattern from this person and support an independent designer rather than a big chain that kind of ripped this person off, it seems like. Took their pattern, simplified it down, made it less good. Honestly. I think it's worth it to support an independent creator and use the materials you already have. Maybe you need to grab another skein or two of a certain color. You can get them so cheap at like the Dollar Tree probably, or at a creative reuse store. So while I did have fun with this kit and do like my little guy, I would encourage anyone who's interested in making this to go check out this pattern from this independent designer. It's gonna turn out better, honestly. I give it an overall 4 sleighs out of 5 because it's cute, it's niche, but for $5, yeah, it was fun. I made something I would have never made otherwise, and he's just a silly little guy, and I like a silly little guy every now and again. So I would say if you're a crocheter, if you're into horror and they have one of the characters or movies that you like, go for it. It's a pretty decent kit. This little guy and I have a date with a horror festival, so we're gonna say bye-bye. Is it amigurumi? Amigurumi. I've heard it both ways. Same with skein and skein. I don't know which way is correct. I haven't picked a way that I say it. I need to just pick one and stick with it.